Hello, good people. Welcome to our show. Hello, bad people. Welcome to our show. Hello, everyone who wanna learn more about sales. Welcome. Today we have a special episode. We can learn more about sales, especially today when we have AI. Many things can be done much faster with quality. It's very important to pay attention to personalization, and AI can help a lot with that. I'm so excited to discuss all this topic with Wes Schaeffer. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, big pleasure to get you back. You spoke two times on my podcast. All the time, I get a lot of engagement. People are curious how to get more sales. Even we chatted a little bit before the podcast. It's a hot topic for me as well because for now I'm looking for ways how to sell subscriptions on my AI agent on you.Mit.com. It's a great
hmm
tool, but I remember when Brandin said about exploding topics when he bought this tool.
Right.
The previous founder had the same struggle. He couldn't sell. And Brian Dean thought, okay, I can sell. I'm Brian Dean. Everyone knows me. But he didn't. So he spent some time to find the way how to sell.
Yeah.
That was a big struggle, even for big influencers like him. So I'm on the same position. And I know many of people who can listen to this podcast also are looking for ways how to sell. Wes, before
Right.
we start, just tell more about yourself, experience, background, and anything that can help our listeners to learn more about you.
Yeah. I mean, I've been in sales since '97 when I got out of the Air Force, and started my own thing in 2006, and a lot of time in high tech. In 2007, I started selling SaaS. Different platforms, marketing automation, email marketing, e-commerce, affiliate marketing. Helping the small and medium businesses streamline their processes, and because I work with companies in an overlapping fashion. I don't just sell them the software. I help them get their message right. Because until you get the right message, um, marketing doesn't really help you. If you don't have processes in place, if I hand you 100 great prospects today that are buying, this week, most people couldn't handle it. They don't have systems in place to reach out, set appointments, maybe have a few qualifying or disqualifying questions along the way, so you can identify the truly hot ones, the tire kickers. And so they just keep buying software and subscribing to things, and when they're desperate, thinking, "Oh, I need this, I need that," and that's how people end up with all these subscriptions, uh, crushing their cash flow. They have tools they don't know how to use, and they're still not making sales. So I always tell people technology is like using salt when you cook. If you put too much salt in, you ruin the meal. You can't get the salt out, right? So you're better off putting in a little bit, and keep tasting it. The same with technology. Find out the core things that you need, start there, optimize it, and then if there's a gap, then you know what to plug in. But most people, they buy too much. They buy too much stuff. Think it's going to save them, and all they end up with are subscriptions that just crush their cash flow.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, I agree. I think all people in the world should read this book from Dale Carnegie. He wrote this book like almost 100 years ago, but a lot of great insights there for modern digital marketing and sales process because what I can see, I get plus 100 messages a day.
Mm,
People who don't care about me, who don't care about my pain points,
no.
who don't care about what I wanna get. They just
Yeah.
wanna sell something to me. I get the messages, okay, take my guest post. I'm good with that. I'm great with that. I don't care you are good or great. I
hmm
wanna to solve my problems. So,
Right.
and Dale Carnegie wrote about it many years ago. He explained you need to listen to customers, you need to understand them because
Right.
everyone is selfish. So, Wes, what do you think about such insights? How to learn customers today? How to get their pain points before crafting this message?
Well, I keep saying, humanity is the next killer app.
Mhm.
There's so much technology out there, and people are just spammed. Um, we need to remember there's a human being on the other end of the screen. You know, there's a human with fears and concerns and worries and doubts and goals and dreams. And, how are you helping them? How is corresponding with you going to help improve their lives? And so I don't think enough people really think that through. What is the real differentiator in your solution? Because if you do all the same things your competitor does, then and I have your competitor's tool, why do I need yours? Why do I switch? Switching is hard. So if I'm switching, you've got to position yourself in such a way that gets my attention, that pain is worth it, the pain of transition. If I don't have your tool, then I'm not fully aware of the problems that you solve. I'm not fully aware that I have the problems. Okay. Because it's just like, some, 10, 20,000 people a day, whatever, die of a heart attack. Doctors can't call and say, hey, Anatoly, you should come in today. You might have a heart attack. You're like, I feel fine. I just went to the gym. I don't need to come in. A friend of mine who is a doctor, 37 years old, had a heart attack doing one of those Tough Mudder kind of runs. And fortunately, his dad was with him. His dad's a dentist, so a medical professional. Rushed him to the ER, and he had that they call the widowmaker, right? So it was, if his dad wasn't with him, if he wasn't a doctor himself, he would have died. Okay, 37 years old.
Yeah.
So how do you make people aware that they're at risk? Because maybe there were signs. So in your marketing, in your outreach, when you're speaking with them, you have to bring up questions. Hey, how, have you been feeling, more lethargic lately? Are you cutting your exercises short? Are you noticing, shortness of breath, pain in your chest, maybe pain in your ribs, pain in your back, which seems like an odd place, blah, blah, blah. So you bring up questions, you got to make them go, huh, yeah, as a matter of fact, I have. So by asking questions, our job in sales really is to ask questions that our prospects can't answer.
Yeah.
Because if I know the answer, why do I need you? But when you ask questions they can't answer, you prove your competency because you know enough to ask about that and inquire, and you get them thinking, because people don't change their minds. Okay. They'll make a new decision when they get new information, but they're not really changing their mind.
Yeah.
Right. You can't just force them. You buy my stuff, it's better. You got to ask questions. Hey, when this happens, are you paying, $300 a month for some software? And yet, it's hard to use. You can't share information. You got to add a new user to get them to contribute or collaborate with you. Is it tough sharing it with clients? Do you have to go, but you have to do exports and manipulate the data, in another program and bring it back in, and, different things. Oh, yeah. Would you like to fix that? How frustrating is that to you? Now they go, yeah, as a matter of fact, it is a pain in the butt. What if I could streamline your process, 50%, and it costs 50% less to do it? What? Now you got their attention. So you gotta position it in terms of, what are they worried about? What are they interested in? And why are you different?
Yeah, you remind me of this movie with Leonardo DiCaprio. Sell me this pen. When people try to sell the pen, but they need to ask questions. Do you use pens? Probably people
Yeah.
don't use pens. So if they don't use pens, that
Yeah.
means they are not your target audience. Just leave it.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And Wes, let me share a short story. Basically, a few weeks ago, I got 4 emails from Neil Patel Digital, and he asked me, not Neil Patel, someone from his team asked me
Sure.
um, about some experts who can speak on this podcast. So they
Okay.
proposed good experts, by the way.
So they're recognizing you. They're finding you.
Yeah, they found me and proposed me experts who can speak on this podcast. Honestly, I check out these experts. By the way, good people, real good
Sure,
experts.
Neil's good. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't reply to these emails because I'm still waiting for sequences. I want to know follow-ups because I'm marketer. I need to learn approaches what people can use. So to convince me, that is why I'm silent by now. But what I found on these emails, it's not human written. It's not cold email. It's between AI personalization. I can call it AI personalization because all these four emails totally the same. Um, and I think like AI learned a little bit about me to personalize this first. Uh, yeah, two sentences in the first paragraph to say,
yeah,
"Oh, we like your podcast." I think that was written by AI, but
yeah. Most of
they
them, yeah,
explained
are.
a little bit about my podcast, and then started to tell, "Okay, we have great experts who can speak on this podcast," and I can score these emails probably from 7 to 10. So it's not like cold email 5 to 10, and not well written personalized email like 8 or 9 to 10, probably even 10. So because it takes time to learn more about recipients, to find real pain points and craft a great email. I know it's art. It's not simple, but I ask my team to use this approach in email marketing because we use cold email outreach, and we paid around $30 for 10,000 emails. So we paid for API Claude Sonnet 4.5 to use this API to learn 10,000 people for $30, and we send these messages. I don't have still results. Keep trying this method. But what do you think about AI personalization today? Is it good idea or not? Any opinion?
Um, I mean, most of it's pretty bad. It's very predictable. I mean, you can see that it is. I tell people all the time. I've done this. I've sold software and I've helped people use it. And it's for doing a lot of outbound or at least nurturing. Maybe it's an inbound lead, but then they ask for a report, but then you got to drip on them and get them to raise their hand, right? And so most of my follow up with people is very short. Um, 99 times out of 100, it's text based, no images. Don't include a bunch of links. Um, don't put your logo at the top, all big and bold, and in their face. So to make it more like you're sending a message to your friend, and the messages are short and sweet. People don't read a bunch of stuff, especially if it's cold. They didn't ask for it. And then when you try to, you know, make it cute, I mean, I get these every day too. Hi, Wes. Really enjoying Wes Schaeffer dash the Sales Whisperer dash the Sales Podcast. I really like your recent episode, and they'll list something from 6 months ago, and I'm like, dude, it's crap. And so just send something short and sweet. Hey, would you like to be a guest? Or, can I have you as a guest on my show? Here's a link. You can check it out. Because opens are not very accurate, but clicks are. So have something that piques their interest, track that link click, because those that click are much more interested. So then you have a delay timer. They clicked, then now did they schedule time? Did they hit a contact us? If they didn't, wait 30 minutes, wait an hour, have another follow-up go out. So you got to think through that. But in all of the writing that I do for people on their outbound, they're all short and sweet, with links to drive them to your website, to a landing page, to a blog, to a podcast interview, something, and get them, entice them to learn more, prove that you're different by being different. Don't overwhelm them. We all get a lot of emails, and even things that I want to read. I'm like, I've got a lot of stuff going on and I may not get to it. So you need to have multiple follow-ups plugged in. Okay. And because people, they're not always ignoring you. We're just all busy.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can send a very similar message each time, but I would tweak it a little bit. I tell people, you know, hit a few high points. I always use an example of like a chiropractor. They could send a message saying, hey, Anatoly, do you suffer from headaches? You know, uh, Maybe in the middle of the night, maybe during the day, maybe when you're hungry, maybe after you eat. Blah blah blah. There's ways. If you're interested in alleviating headaches without medicine, without surgery, click here and see some ways we help. A couple of days later, hey, Anatoly, the other day we talked about alleviating headaches, but a lot of people, upwards of 80% of people have back pain. you know, Either an old injury or we just sit too much. Would you like to get more mobility, alleviate back pain, without surgeries, without, complicated procedures, without pain meds, blah, 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 click here. Okay. And then a couple of days later, hey, you want to get in better health. Would you like to lose 10, 15, 20 pounds or more? Would you like to do it naturally without chemical? So I'm hitting this thing up. Oh, yeah, I want to lose weight. I don't have headaches. I do have back pain. But, so you hit a few high points, and one of them hopefully resonates. If you got the right audience, then one of those is going to hit.
Yeah.
So, but each of those messages are short and sweet with a link to more information. Now let them go deep.
Yeah.
And you steer their discovery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got to think ahead on this.
Nice. Wes, I wanna ask about finding the right channel or probably even the right tool, because for example what I can see when new products when companies launch new products, they're looking for ways how to sell it, and uh, I got a few requests, for example, to use cold email outreach, LinkedIn outreach, ASEO, paid marketing, Facebook ads, Instagram ads, many channels, but without having success even with one channel, without having
Mm-hmm.
success. So and I see when people are trying to do many things, especially with limited resources, they
Yep.
usually fail. So can you tell how to find this one channel that can bring results, or choose the best possible channel?
Well, like we were talking about before we hit record, reach out to your best customers.
Yeah.
If, ideally you have a few people paying you. Get to know them very well. How do they find you? How do they consume information today? What channels are they on? Because you're right. It's like people, our prospects are not everywhere, and you can't be everywhere. Okay. So, and I see this all the time. I see a company go to their website. They'll have all their social media links at the top. I'm a fan of having them at the bottom, but they'll have everything at the top. And you click, it'll open in the same page. So now they're gone. You just lost that prospect, right? Because they click on Facebook and now they're going down a rabbit hole and they forgot they even came to your website. So at a minimum, open it in a new tab, right? But then I'll click on it and it takes me to their Instagram, and they have 7 followers. They've done 3 posts and they haven't done anything in a year. So I'm like, remove that from your website.
Yeah.
There's no benefit to anybody to be linking to that. Okay. So, and you don't have to be everywhere. I've got clients, in the coffee business, estate planning attorney, commercial insurance, commercial contractors. None of them need social media. Some facilities director, at a big, commercial plant that needs to renovate a building, or the guy works for a real estate mogul, they have 50 properties, and every month they've got to renovate 10 of them for new clients, tenant improvements. That dude is not hanging out on Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat to get a referral to find a commercial contractor to come do new plumbing in their building. Okay, so all of them, I help them put outbound cadences together, find these customers, understand exactly who you're going after. And look, in all these instances, it's a different message if they reach out to the CEO versus the CFO versus the COO, versus the VP of operations or HR. It's a different message on that outreach. Okay, so yeah, stop trying to be everywhere. First, create a powerful message. Most people do not have a powerful message. You'll see realtors. We make the American dream possible. Like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Right? I mean, Shark Tank, they make the American dream possible. So are you a shark? Are you an investor? Financial advisor, they make the American dream possible. I don't know. Could a banker say, I make the American dream possible? We fund good businesses. So what does that mean? But that's most people. We help you grow your sales through SEO, through sales training, through CRMs.
Yeah.
I mean, what? Marketing? What does that mean? So people have these bland messages and they think they're just going to throw it out there and people are just going to jump on it. And what you're doing is training the market to ignore you. Okay, you've got to be brave enough to have a brave, strong, powerful message that makes people sit up and take notice and go, what the hell are you talking about? How do you do that? What does that mean? Because we're all busy. I got my iPhone right here, got my iPad charging, I got 2 screens, I got stuff going on. So I got WhatsApp pinging me, I got my text messages pinging me, I got Facebook Messenger pinging me, got email coming in, phone calls I'm muting. Why do I pay attention to what you just sent me? I don't know you.
Yeah.
Now you want me to stop what I'm doing, read your, 12-page email, click on your website, opt in for a 2-hour demo. Like, it ain't happening.
Yeah.
It ain't happening.
12-page email. I never get that, but I don't know. Probably someone can write. But by the way, I spoke with one sales guy. He's very good on that. So, and he told me that most people use short emails, but he found success in long emails. Not like 12 pages, but long emails. So he can write stories and
if someone
submit.
opted in, I send long emails on my daily email,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not cold.
Yeah, of course.
You've opted in for it. Okay. If it's cold,
Yeah.
you need to be, you got to get them to click. Now, once they click, you could have a whole different funnel that starts to send longer emails because they've expressed some, they've opened it, they read it, they clicked.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's different. The cold emails should be shorter.
Yeah, I agree. Let's discuss about the length. I mean, like, sometimes people need to sell like for 1 minute, like to sell in elevator when you have the chance to speak with someone. Sometimes you have huge presentation in conference, can convince people for 30 minutes, then you can put call to action. So how to find this balance? I mean, let's imagine we speak about digital, only digital. So we have 1 minute sales in elevator, 30 minutes or an hour in conference. But for digital specific channel, how to find the best length?
Well, I wrote about this years ago. I say your elevator pitch is bass backwards. I don't want to pitch. I want to disqualify you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Like, do I even want to be talking to you? And if so, I want to get your card so I can follow up with you. Okay. So, you get in the elevator, hey, what do you do? I just, depending on the conference, right? Because I can say different things. I'm a sales coach. I do a little bit of like executive coaching, if you will, just helping people, in leadership kind of get their head on straight. I sell CRMs, I sell software. I'm a keynote speaker. So depending on so I don't want to say the wrong thing by just having one generic thing. So, if I'm at a tech conference, oh, wait, what do you do? I'm a reseller. I'm a partner here. What do you do? I answered as quick as I can, as generically as I can, you know, and you can tell by their response. Oh, you're a reseller, man. We're brand new at this. We're considering buying the software. We're evaluating. Oh my gosh, great meeting. What is your name? You got a card? How can I follow up with you? You want to talk about it later? You want to grab some coffee? So I don't need a big pitch. Okay. So you got to figure out. I tell people all the time, like at trade shows, you don't even need a booth. You don't even need cards. Go walk around. Everybody's got big name badges on. Hey, Joe, what's going on? I mean, strike up a conversation. Oh my gosh. Hey, can we follow up? And now, like the new iPhones, you can just touch them and they send your contact information. Right. And so I want to get your info so I can follow up. And so, because it's rare that there's no magical, you know, spell you're going to cast on somebody. Like, what do you do? And it's like, ooh, look into my eyes. I make software. You'll make more. You send me money. I'm going to send you money. Yes. I mean, it doesn't happen. Right. So when you talk with them, so like in your case, you're selling unmiss and,
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do? Say, uh, I've developed some software for small and medium businesses. Kind of declutter things and help them go from invisible to the top of the food chain. Online. What do you do? And so you want them to go, wait, what? What do you mean? Say, well, now you can start asking them questions. Say, well, like I've been in the CRM space a long time, right? So I would ask them, well, how familiar are you with CRMs? How familiar are you with SEO? So again, oh, I'm very familiar. I'm an expert. I wrote a book on SEO. Okay, then maybe they're not a prospect. Maybe he is. Maybe he could be an advocate for you, right? And drive a lot of business. But based on, say, well, I'm kind of familiar with it, but I mean, it's been kind of hit or miss. You go, yeah, like have you subscribed to some tools and like that? Were they like too complex or too expensive or lock you into contracts? Yeah, man, all the above. Well, that's the problem I solve. Well, what do you mean? You're right. Say, we're not expensive, we're not complex, and you can reach me, the owner, at any time. What really? Oh my gosh. Oh, well, the elevator, what's your name, Joe? You got a card? How can I reach you? Would you like to talk more? Yeah, I'd love to talk more about it. So, it's just reality.
Yeah.
People think they're going to say this one magical thing in 37 seconds and they're just going to hand you their Amex card, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's why I say even all of our job in sales is to prospect. And when we prospect, we're disqualifying. You've got to set your own expectations properly.
Yeah.
Okay. We think, oh, we're going to reach all these people. Everybody's going to be so happy to hear from me. And that's not true. You have to understand you're an interruption. And it's not personal. Okay. You're reaching out to people. Maybe it's the wrong time of day. Maybe they're an afternoon person and not a morning person. They're not in the mood. Maybe, you call in the morning and they're too busy, getting the day started, getting deliveries out the door, whatever. Everything's got to be done by 10 a.m. So, they're just frantic. They get in at 5. So they're frantic from 5 to 10, so call them after lunch, or maybe it's the end of the day and they're frantic at the end of the day. So I tell people, call early, call in the morning before the receptionist gets in, call during lunch because the receptionist takes a lunch break, call after hours, call after 5 p.m. because the boss is still there working, getting stuff done because they give a crap. So you got to figure out what's going on in their lives and realize, don't take anything personally. Recognize some people are better in the morning, some better in the afternoon. You got to pay attention to all these things, document it, and then you can figure out, when to reach out to them and with what message. But most people are paying $30, getting 10,000 names. They got a $5 AI subscription. They got a $5 an hour overseas VA and saying, here, send some emails for me. Now we're all getting 200 emails a day that are crap.
Yeah. Yeah. Got it.
That's why I say humanity is the next killer app. How can you use AI and email to kind of pique their interest? Then call them, text them, connect on LinkedIn and send a real message, not an AI message, and get them to kind of perk up and take notice. And that it's going to take more time. I get it. Everybody's under the gun. So you'd have realistic expectations about, how quickly can you convert someone?
Yeah.
But sales is very much courtship. It's dating.
Got it. Wes, I have my final question. I think it's important question for my audience about the future. So basically, we discuss about reality, what we have. We touch a little bit past, but I wanna learn, just know your opinion about what can be, because some experts can say that AI can take all salespeople. Why? Because what we can see today, even Meta is trying to build a system when AI can learn customers and create the entire message to their target audience without marketers. Because today marketers can set up these paid ads to pay attention with creativity. Mark Zuckerberg said that they are going to do it. I don't know if it's possible or not. We'll see. I'm not here to predict the future because I'm terrible forecaster. I tried many times. I remember like 10 years ago, one of my friends came to me and asked, "Do you want to buy Bitcoin?" I mean, like it can become future money. I replied, "No, I don't need it. Just take 1,000 Bitcoins." So. I mean, like you can become rich. I deny it. No, I don't need it. He asked, "Okay, take 100 Bitcoin." I replied, no, I don't need any Bitcoin. I don't need it. I don't know what is it. So forecast is not my strong side. But what I can see today, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Google is trying to connect directly customers and businesses without marketers, without salespeople to put this message. For example, on TikTok, we have it, on Instagram, when people can click the button and to buy a product. So your prediction about the future, because some experts can say that AI can take this job. What do you think?
I keep saying humanity is the next killer app. I think the government will step in time and limit what AI can do legally, because people get burned out and turned off by spam, robocalls, right? We had all that. You don't need salespeople. A robot's going to make the call and they'll answer the phone and make the sale. Like AI is good. It will get better. I still think at our core, right, in the back of our brain, humans haven't changed. We're tribal creatures. Okay. It's why you see like so much money in sports, my team versus your team. We want to know that we're in it together. I did a podcast years ago, a book review of a book called Deep Survival. And he analyzed like why people survive tough situations and why others don't. And one of the things they found was that people would tend to give up hope, lost in the woods or something. And their biggest fear was that they'd never be seen or heard from again. So they wondered, like, what is my life? Am I worth anything? Like, what happens if I just vanish? And like despair would set in. So they had to fight that, so we want to have experiences with other humans. It's in our DNA, right? I mean, even if you're not religious. The book of Genesis has been around 3 or 4 thousand years, okay, in a written format. That means it was spoken for probably 10,000 years before somebody wrote it down. So you can be agnostic, you can be an atheist, but you're a fool if you don't study that book. And like, why did this story of Adam and
Yeah.
Eve, God saw it wasn't good that Adam was alone, so he made Eve. Okay. Why has that story survived for thousands of years? There's a lesson there. Okay. So,
To have billion people, yeah, over
yeah.
billion.
And so you've got to pay attention. Like my son years ago, I laughed at him. I was talking about Sun Tzu and the art of war, right? That's like 2,500 years old. He's like, oh, that doesn't apply. I'm like, I almost wanted to slap him. I'm like, you better go read that book, boy. Everything is strategy. Everything is combat, really. We're all jockeying for position. And so these old stories, you need to pay attention. So AI will streamline things. I mean, look, I'm old enough to remember, dial up. Okay. And I remember it was 1995, 96, living in Biloxi, Mississippi at Keesler Air Force Base. We had like a 56.6 dial up, and they had chat rooms. And we were chatting with people around the world. And like my wife, like, this is so cool. This person's in China. This person's in Finland. Like, what? How is this possible? Like I didn't understand like how that was happening. Now we have video calls. Now you got your iPhone. My son was in Buenos Aires a few weeks ago. My wife went down, spent a week down there. We could FaceTime as she's walking the streets. Look at this. Look at this place. So technology can bring us closer together, or it can create distance. Because now, okay, she's, 8,000 miles away. We can see one another. Now we can sit in the same room on the same couch, and now we're both lost in our phones, not conversing with one another. Does that make the relationship stronger or weaker? Right. So all of this comes into play. But even I see, like, when the internet came around, the role of the salesperson changed. Okay. Before the internet, the salesperson was the keeper of the knowledge. If you wanted to go buy a car, you had to go in and haggle. Okay. Meet with them. Now you can look up the MSRP of the car is right there online. I can do all my research. I can see which 2 or 3 dealerships have it. There's new ones. There's a couple of used ones. I get some ideas. I can haggle online. Then I can come in. Now the salesperson, now they have to help me have the confidence that I'm making the best decision. So before we didn't have enough information. Now we have too much information. Okay. So it's like, what do I do with all this? So can I, as the salesperson, build trust with the prospect and say, understand you're looking at A, B, and C. You say your goals are 1, 2, and 3. If number 1 is truly number 1, then you need to go with B because of this, this, and this. If 1 and 2 are kind of even, then I'd recommend you go with A. But, what do you think? Oh, okay, that's a good point. Yes, thank you very much. I'll go with A. So there's always going to be, a need for that human touch.
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah,
So
humans connect with humans. But who knows, Wes? Probably like next time when I will invite you to this podcast, you can say me, AI avatar can represent me, and I can tell, okay, my AI avatar I can
yeah,
speak with you as well. But it's interesting data. 46% of people follow at least one AI influencer today. So I like some faceless videos on YouTube. You know, uh,
sure.
made by AI. I listen to podcasts with AI voice, and it's quality. I care about value. If it's valuable, I can listen. So basically, if you can tell me my AI avatar will come and your AI avatar will bring value, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
So
you bet.
yeah, but of course, connection with humans, yeah, will be always, always.
Yes, you
Yeah.
bet.
Thank you, Wes, for your time. A lot of valuable bombs. You know how to bring value. It's not the first time you uh, speak. It's first time on my podcast. Yeah, much appreciated for that. Tell the best way how to keep learning from you, how to reach out to you, how to follow you.
I'll put it there in the chat. It's just my website, my name, wesschaeffer.com/daily. So I've got a free daily email. Check that out and send some little nugget every day. These are longer, like I said, but bookmark them, come back to them later. But it's all about sales, marketing, connecting. How to stand out in today's crazy, noisy world.
Nice, guys. I recommend to anyone to follow Wes. I will put this link to to this website in the description below. You can find it. I recommend to anyone to check out whatever happens, because you can see today it's a quickly changing world. People are still people, but technologies are growing. We need to consider these technologies, how to adapt. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot, Wes. A big pleasure.
Yeah.
Welcome
Hey,
back
my pleasure.
anytime to bring
Thank
mobile
you.
your bombs.